tonight, it was a terrifying few days for New York and New Jersey as explosives went off. We have the latest.
Later, another shooting in North Carolina. What promoted the fatal encounter? We'll fill you in.
Plus, presidential hopeful Evan McMullen has released a controversial online ad. We'll fill you in.
Good evening and welcome to the MCTV Weekly News Update. I'm Clancy Burke.
And I'm Jillian McCarthy. The desperate search for the suspect of the New York and New Jersey shootings over the weekend has come to an end. Ahmad Rahami was captured after police found the suspect sleeping in the doorway of a Linden, New Jersey bar. Cops fired at Rahami, who was responsible for multiple explosions in Seaside, New Jersey, the Chelsea section of Manhattan, and Elizabeth, New Jersey. Officials say that the suspect did virtually nothing to cover his tracks. There is information found on his cell phone and a fingerprint left on one of the devices that is connected to Rahami. On Monday, he was arrested after a shootout with the police, where Linden officers returned fire, hitting him several times.
On Tuesday, a California man was fatally shot by police officers. While searching for a man with a hefty warrant, Charlotte police officers came across a Monty Scott exiting his car, brandishing a handgun. He then returned to his car and soon exited. The police saw him as an imminent threat and fired on the 43-year-old after he refused to comply with the police upon being told to drop the weapon. It was originally claimed by Ahmad Scott's family that he had been holding a book, not a handgun, but no book was found at the crime scene. Riots have since erupted in Charlotte in protest of the death of another African American at the hands of police.
Independent Party presidential candidate Evan McMullen committed a surprising attack in his campaign strategy this afternoon, taking a voicemail from a very passionate Trump supporter to his communications director, Ryan Shaw. McMullen has turned the caller's electronically recorded words into an online ad. The voicemail is extremely striking, featuring racial slurs and curse words far too vulgar to say on air, but ends with the slogan, "This is a preview of Donald Trump's America. We can do better." This is quite the campaign strategy, and whether McMullen will get backlash from this is yet to come.
Well, tomorrow marks the very first day of fall, so let's see if the weather agrees with that. Here's Marika Cygert with this week's Highs and Lows report.
Hi, my name is Marika Cygert, and this is today's High and Low report. Strong to severe thunderstorms are taking aim on the Midwest into the middle of the week. On Monday, a severe storm with hail as large as golf balls impacted Madison, Wisconsin. Severe storms may erupt in portions of eastern Nebraska, eastern South Dakota, southern Minnesota, Iowa, and southern Wisconsin. The main concerns are damaging winds, large hail, and flash flooding. The areas shaded red have the greatest chance of seeing severe weather. Tropical Storm Carl has intensified into a hurricane and is currently posing a threat to Bermuda. Wind gusts of 40 miles per hour are currently moving towards Bermuda, and by early Saturday can be moving at 105 miles per hour. Carl will not directly impact the Leeward Islands as it passes safely to the north later this week. It is of no threat to the U.S. other than the eventual generation of some larger swells reaching the east coast. For all of you that are having trouble sleeping at night due to the heat or sweating on your way to classes, I'm sorry to say that the heat is still sticking around this week. It seems as if summer does not want to go away, with average temperatures in Dallas reaching 95 degrees and temperatures in New York averaging 85. So I know we're all praying for the fall winds to sweep in, but we will have to hold off on that for maybe another week or two. In the Hudson Valley, today's high is 86, and the temperature can drop to 65. The sun rose at 6:45 a.m., and if you want to watch the sunset on the river, make sure to be outside at 6:53 p.m. Tonight, the weather will be partly cloudy, and the temperature can drop to 65. If you're one of those people that is always cold, make sure to carry a sweater. There is 0 chance of precipitation, and the humidity tonight is 51%, with some calm winds. On the bright side, we will be seeing a lot of sun tomorrow with lows at 64. There will still be no chance of rain, and humidity is going to be at 46% with winds traveling southeast at 4 miles per hour. But tomorrow is still looking like a great day. Looking closer into the rest of the week, Friday will be mostly sunny with highs at 84, similarly to Thursday, and lows at 65. Saturday will be partly cloudy with highs at 73 and lows at 53. Both Sunday and Monday will be sunny days with highs around 68 degrees and lows between 52 and 56. And lastly, next Tuesday is looking like a partly cloudy day with a high of 74. This has been this week's Highs and Lows Report. I am Marika Cygert, and thank you for watching. Now back to the studio.
It was a sad day yesterday for humanitarians around the world as the UN suspended humanitarian aid to Syria. The decision comes after a convoy carrying humanitarian aid to rebel-held parts Aleppo, Syria was attacked, killing 20 civilians and at least one aid worker. Although deemed deliberate, it is currently unclear who exactly was behind the attack.
With the presidential election coming up in just a few short months, there will be yet another debate on the 26th of September. However, third-party candidates Jill Stein of the Green Party and Gary Johnson of the Libertarian Party did not qualify for the upcoming debate. Without at least 15% approval ratings, these candidates are excluded, leaving only the Democratic nominee Hillary Clinton and the Republican nominee Donald Trump on the stage. According to the poll issued by the Commission on Presidential Debates, Clinton stands at 43%, Trump close behind with 40.4%, Johnson at 8.4%, and Stein at just 3.2%.
The Trump family is back at it again. However, this week it is Donald Trump Jr., the Republican candidate's son, who is at fault. On Monday night, he tweeted, quote, "If I had a bowl of Skittles and I told you just 3 would kill you, would you take a handful? That's our Syrian refugee problem." This quickly sparked backlash from Clinton's campaign, calling the tweet disgusting, as well as fueling heavy debates between other social media users. This month, Donald Trump Jr. has also invoked the Holocaust by saying the Republicans should be warming up the gas chamber right now. Looks like the Trump family is not stopping anytime soon with their controversial words.
With the presidential election right around the corner, there's a lot of information to keep up with, and sometimes it's tough to discern fact from opinion. Our newest political correspondents, Maddie Garcia and Bernadette Hogan, join us now to fact-check our 2016 candidates.
Maddie Garcia.
And I'm Bernadette Hogan, and we are here to offer some additional insight and added analysis to the 2016 presidential election.
Basically, we're here to discuss the facts and a comprehensive review of comments and actions made by the candidates. I will be covering Donald Trump.
And I will be covering Hillary Rodham Clinton. Our goal is to sift out potential bias in the media in effort to sort fact from fiction. So let's get started.
Okay, so Trump quickly weighed in on the attacks in New York and New Jersey and Minnesota over the weekend with a warning on Monday that, quote, "this is only going to get worse." This was the perfect time for Trump to push his plans for stricter immigration policies, which he's proposed would better protect the U.S. from terror. Trump has made crime committed by illegal immigrants and refugees in the U.S. a major theme of his campaign. But his position on which potential immigrants to keep out of the country because of the terrorism fears has shifted multiple times throughout his campaign. So leading the suspects in the New York and New Jersey bombings, Ahmad Rahami, who was an Afghan immigrant who became a naturalized U.S. citizen, demanding tough vetting on immigrants from troubled regions of the world, suddenly seems like fair game. So up until now, Trump has avoided using his familiar Muslim immigration rhetoric, especially after his denouncing of comments about fallen soldier Captain Humayun Khan. But after this weekend, Trump is beginning to revert again to his support for racial profiling.
Clinton champions the need for comprehensive immigration reform based on the idea that the United States is first and foremost a nation of immigrants. She advocates a collaborative welcome to assist those who wish to gain citizenship, reflecting on a familial attitude that she argues will strengthen the U.S. as a whole. After this weekend's attacks, Clinton is quoted by the New York Times saying they, the conservative media and Trump campaign, I'm assuming, are looking to make this into a war against Islam rather than a war against jihadists, violent terrorists. The kinds of rhetoric and language Mr. Trump has used is giving aid and comfort to our adversaries.
Was just a small snippet of the full narrative. Look on to MCTV's YouTube channel to view the full analysis.
Last week, Alabama teenager Jesse Holton was arrested for murdering his parents. Jesse had thrown a party that left the house completely trashed with evidence of drugs. His parents reprimanded him, and he had problems with with him in the past, so they handcuffed him to show him what it would be like going to prison. A few hours later, his parents were found dead on the bedroom floor. Both suffered gunshots to the head. 2 dead, all due to the aftermath of a party. Jesse's bond is at $750,000, and he is being tested to see if he is mentally unstable.
More than 160 people were treated for heat-related illnesses during the Los Angeles Rams' first regular season home game. Over 91,000 fans attended the game at the Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum in 90-degree weather. The city fire department says 14 people were taken to the hospital, but none were in critical condition. Nearly 90 calls were received during the game, most of which were heat-related illnesses. According to the National Weather Service, temperatures hit into the 80s and 90s in many spots of the state. Downtown San Francisco reached 86 degrees, making it the second warmest day of the year. In Southern California, a red flag warning of extreme fire danger was in effect until noon on Monday.
Luckily, not all sporting events this week had that outcome. We have Andrea Fressle in the studio to give us the latest in the sports world. Andrea?
Hi, my name is Andrea Fressle, and welcome to MCTV Sports. It's been a very exciting week for New York sports. The Jets, who are 1-1, won 37-31 against the Buffalo Bills, a big victory against their former coach Rex Ryan. The New York Giants are 2-0, defeating the Saints 16-13. The Giants kick-started their defense by adding defensive end Oliver Vernon, defensive tackle Damon Harrison, and cornerback Daenerys Jenkins. Victor Cruz is back to the Giants following 2 years of injuries. The Cowboys defeated the Redskins 27-23, and the Patriots keep their 2-0 record even with Tom Brady's suspension. The addition of Jimmy Garoppolo for the Patriots but keep the young quarterback suffered a setback with his shoulder injury while playing Miami. The season is winding up for baseball with the final 10-15 team. The Mets are in a good position to gain one of the wild card spots. Yankees lost 4 straight games to Boston and looks like they will not be advancing to the playoffs. The American League Division winners include the Boston Red Sox, Cleveland Indians, and Texas Rangers. The national leaders include the Nationals, Chicago Cubs, and LA Dodgers. The Chicago Cubs, who haven't won a World Series since 1908, are leading the National Division. I think the Cubs have a very good chance of winning the World Series and are currently the favorites to win. In college football, Alabama remains #1, and Notre Dame lost the second game is out of the top 25. Louisville and Houston are the surprise top 5 teams. The Nair's football team suffered a loss against Sacred Heart on Saturday, but the women's volleyball has won 2 straight games with freshman Nikki Serpa with 16 straight points. Men's soccer ranked 22 in top draw poll. Mary Soccer is also ranked second in the Northeast, according to the National Soccer Association of American poll. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm Andrea Fressle, and now back to the studio.
A fire ripped through a refugee camp on the Greek island of Lesbos Monday night, causing around 4,000 people to evacuate. According to police, the fire was started by some of the police who live there. The situation arose when a protest got out of hand. The camp, which is one of the largest in Greece, lost half of its buildings in the fire.
The Department of Homeland Security made a big uh-oh when it comes to their office reporting of individuals from special interest countries who were supposed to have been deported. At first, 858 cases were counted. However, on Monday, a new report found that an additional 1,000 individuals were not accounted for. In addition, the totaling 1,800 individuals were granted United States citizenship. The Department of Homeland Security has responded to this report and states that it will review all cases out of an abundance of caution.
In entertainment news, the Hudson Valley was represented well at the Emmy Awards on Sunday night. Jimmy Fallon, a late-night television host who grew up in Saugerties, New York, was nominated for an award, as well as Dutchess County native Liev Schreiber. Peter Dinklage, Tyrion from Game of Thrones, and a part-time Ulster County resident won multiple awards, one being Best Television Drama Series with the rest of the cast. In addition, What Happened, Miss Simone, a documentary filmed partially in the Hudson Valley, took home the Emmy for Most Outstanding Documentary for Nonfiction Special. Who knows, maybe a future nominee for Best Actor is walking the halls of Marist College or sitting at this anchor desk.
Let's move from the red carpet to the box office. Jake Hensler is back with your weekly entertainment report.
Bet you thought you saw the last of me. And if you think I should have stuck to retirement, wait until you see next week, because we're bringing back a grandpa. But for those recovering from the worst cinema summer in years, I feel for you, I do. For those unaware, allow me to recap. Because yes, Marvel kicked off summer with a butt-kicking Captain America Civil War movie. That much is true. But from there on, we got 2 video game adaptations that were pretty subpar. Angry Birds bombed more than the bomb character even did, and Warcraft could not have been less interesting for critics and audience members alike. Suicide Squad made us want to commit to the Marvel Cinematic Universe even more, proving that awesome trailers don't equal awesome movies. Even Morgan Freeman couldn't save the remake of classic Ben-Hur from flopping more than a Magikarp. Yes, I play Pokemon Go. You may like Johnny Depp, but I doubt you like Alice Through the Looking Glass. And not even kids wanted another Ice Age, not to mention how nobody asked for another Independence Day, and then it was backed up by how virtually nobody liked it. Not even action powerhouses like new X-Men or new Jason Bourne could blow away people. As all those movies not only made less money than anticipated, but received a score of lower than 60 on Rotten Tomatoes, leaving them with the lettuce icon. And no, I didn't even touch on everything. So what were the positives? Well, there were a few, and kinda only a few. Domestically, Finding Dory found its way to over $480 million, becoming the 7th highest grossing movie in the domestic all-time charts. Civil War punched its way to a little over $400 million and over $1 billion worldwide. And The Secret Life of Pets made over $360 million in the United States, rounding out your highest grossing summer movies, with Cap and Dory scoring a 90 or above on Rotten Tomatoes. Fortunately for the summer, it wasn't the typical blockbusters that gave you the success studios wanted. It was the little guys. Movies like Hell or High Water, Kubo and the Two Strings, The Nice Guys, and even Sausage Party were the hits that you may have missed if you weren't looking in the right places. In other news, and hopefully good news, we've got some new cinema casting with Brie Larson as Captain Marvel and Alden Ehrenreich as a young Han Solo. One is less worrisome than the other, but we'll cross both of those bridges when we get to them. And what's to come? Well, next week we get a remake of The Magnificent Seven starring Denzel Washington and Chris Pratt. Long term, Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them in November, and Star Wars Rogue One in December. And the unthinkable future? Well, in the year 2020, we're supposed to be getting a new King Kong vs. Godzilla, but that's irrelevant right now, not because of the year, but because King Kong is not the most famous gorilla to our generation right now. Moment of silence as we praise him. Gone but never forgotten, our fallen brother will never truly be dead, for he lives on through all of us. That's all for this week in entertainment. I'm Jake Hensler, giving you the fun stuff in a world full of rough stuff.
How much do you know about global events and world geography? According to a recent 75-question exam given to 1,200 college students by National Geographic, American students are nearly clueless, receiving a failing grade of 55% in an increasingly global world. U.S. students are low-ranking on international awareness, failing to correctly answer questions about immigration, religion, geography, and our own government. Although these numbers are low, the college students ranked the importance of international awareness highly, leaving room for improvement on our knowledge about international events and topics.
Who needs bouquets when you have puppies? Bride Sarah Crane's big day was taken over by multiple boxer coonhound puppies that accompanied her wedding party down the aisle. These unforgettable wedding photos not only went viral, but raised awareness for a pit bull rescue organization, Pitties Love Peace. After the wedding, all 5 puppies featured in the pictures were quickly adopted while creating unique memories that the world was able to appreciate. Sarah Crane has since announced that her statement piece of replacing her flowers with eligible rescue dogs has raised awareness and given many dogs happy homes.
What a sweet story. This has been the MCTV Weekly News Report. Thank you for watching. I'm Jillian McCarthy.
And I'm Clancy Burke. Good night.